keep it 100. Within our circle, we've all had problems before. Yeah,
you mainly.
Me mainly, because I am the one who harbours feelings. Yeah, and I guess it's no coincidence. I guess I am the one who's also maybe suffered some mental health issues as well, because I've always I have this thing where if I feel a way about someone, I don't want to challenge them about the way in which they've made me feel, because I know that my personality and my character will make it escalate to a point where it won't be recoverable. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't recover the relationship, because if I tell you you've made me feel a certain way about something and you say, well, I didn't, bro, I could lose my shit. I'll be real.
I think you've got better, though.
Yeah, and then I think that's coming with age and knowing myself a little bit better. But I know that as a man, and I think Dwayne, he's even spoke. I've had problems with my brothers and sisters even, and I've spoken even to Dwayne before, and he just, bro, this is the other day. Let's keep it 100. This is the other day, and I said, listen, they've made me feel a way about something certain, and I now feel this way. So F them, kind of thing. Yeah.
You need to stop having that attitude.
No, but this is how. But you have to understand. That's old Dwayne mentality. But this is part of my mental makeup. This is the way in which I operate. So it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna hold no animosity to you, but F you. I'm gonna do my thing over here. You stay over there. I'll love you from afar. But just leave me alone.
No animosity against you, but
I know.
You stay over there.
But that's how I did. Honestly, that's how I deal with it. But when I spoke to Dwayne, he was like, you know what? You need to kind of just get your feelings out, put it out there, and the response is the response, and you kind of deal with that in it. So it's not kind of sitting on me, because I know that things kind of eat away at me. You know what I'm saying? So done that, and I feel kind of better about it, if that makes sense.
But you say something interesting. You say the way they make you feel. And I think, especially when you're going through depression, one of the key things to understand is that no one can make you feel a certain way. You will always. And I know,
but you know, my instinct is I disagree. But I'm gonna let go on. I'll let you finish. Yeah, go on.
I understand what you're saying because I've been there. I understand what you're saying, and it's a difference in mindset, because when you realize that they do not have the power, it's you. It means that when someone says something to you that would usually trigger you, you say to yourself, "Okay, irrational thoughts coming up. Irrational thoughts coming up. I'm gonna manage this." No, it's silly, or why are they saying it? Then you start to question the messenger. You stop taking the message to heart. But if you stay in that mode of you made me feel, you give so many people the power to control your feelings.
But all right, so let me respond directly.
A therapist would tell you that.
Yeah, let me respond on the back of that. See, I used to be a way where, let's just say, co-workers, people that are associates, and all of those things, I would give the power to make me feel a certain way. And I own that now. Because they don't matter to me, you can't affect me. But when it comes to people, family and friends that are very close to me, I allow myself to be vulnerable. So I do care what you think about me, because you're my real friends, you know what I'm saying? And because of that, and because of the level of vulnerability I allow myself to go to, yes, you can make me feel a certain way, but if you had your brethren Tom next to you, Tom could tell me I'm a piece of shit, wouldn't make me feel any certain type of way. But you saying that I'm a piece of shit because you know me and you know the levels and layers of me, it would make me feel a certain way.
Yeah, but the point is, Craig, it's not him making, you are feeling that way based on what he has said, but he is not making you feel that way. You're being triggered by what he is saying,
right?
But that's not him making.
But the triggers made me.
Feelings come
the
from
trigger is
within,
made.
He's the trigger.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what you need to understand. He's just the trigger. Yeah, he isn't making you feel that way.
So
I do understand the point you're making.
So whatever I have said to trigger you, this is linked to a trauma in your past.
Yeah.
So when I say something to you and it triggers you, it triggers that same emotion that you had. Whatever triggered this in the first place. And the reason why the random Tom doesn't impact you is because you're able to distance him and say it's just a random, I don't care. But even if he said it, it probably would still trigger something in you where you probably...
Yeah, but I'm able to control that emotion.
You're not going to react.
I can dismiss whatever, you know, if Tom calls me a black bastard, excuse my language.
I think if Tom pushed you, you'd physically...
Oh, if Tom touched me, I'll fuck Tom up.
No,
sorry.
But what I'm saying,
And I'm the violent one.
but what I'm saying is that because when it happened to me, for example, there will be messages in our WhatsApp group,
Yeah.
and when we was bantering each other, I would take every single message personally.
Yeah.
And they would.
Is it?
Yes. Yes.
No sarcasm.
But listen,
That's interesting though. that you
because
spoke on that, yeah.
these messages before, they would give me anxiety. I would be up all night. Like if we had a banter session in WhatsApp, that would keep me up all night. I'll be up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
So what were you analysing when you're up till 2? Is it that, oh, you know what, this person said this about me, so that
What
means
does it
that they
mean by
don't
this?
really, or they think this of me? What would you kind of go through?
This is why I say it's the triggers, trauma, because it would link me back to the bullying. So what I would do is I would take the messages from WhatsApp, add it to a bullying event that I can remember,
Yeah.
put the two
But not
together.
that's all in the back. You don't know that you're doing that, right?
No.
Yeah, you don't know that you're doing that.
You
And
don't.
that's what happens. Yeah.
You just merge it. And then all of a sudden you're hearing, this is how I used to compare it. I would be, what's the word figuratively? Like in your mind? What's the word? Anyway,
I wish I knew it. 'Cause I'd
in
sound
my
smart.
head,
Yeah.
in my head, it would be me on the floor like this,
Yeah.
and it would be other versions of me, pride, ego, insecurities, all just kicking me.
Okay. That's
Kicking me on the
interesting.
floor. And
You don't actually.
so-
vision
so-
that.
so what
I mean,
you're
that's like that's the scenario of what's going on. You don't actually see that.
No, bro, listen to what the
asking
man's
the question,
saying.
bro.
This is what
I need to
he's
understand.
telling us what he sees.
yes.
And what you're saying is that's what you're relating it to the whole thing about it's not someone else making you feel that way.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all
Because
your
that's what I'm saying.
feelings.
The messages in the WhatsApp would take me back to my bullying days. I would have the exact same emotions, the anxiety, the feelings. And then I would compare it and I think, why am I always getting bullied? Why am I always getting bullied my entire life? Even my friends are bullying me. So then I would merge the two together and I'll be up till 3, 4 in the
Yeah.
morning. And that's why I say to you is that it's actually not them making me feel this way. Like it's me.
Not being able to manage.
Right. So, and then when I went through therapy, that's when I started to understand. In fact, if these guys say to me, "Yeah, Leon, you're wearing a button-up shirt," before,
Why'd you have to do that?
before I'd be like, "Shit, I can't wear this shirt ever again.
Got you.
I'm gonna throw away this shirt. Like, why are these guys teasing my shirt? What's wrong with it?"
Yeah.
So right, and I feel like looking and watching your growth. Now, what you do is you just shut down.
Shut down.
Maybe that's not the right word, but what
God, yeah, expand
so
on
what
it.
you will do is everyone will be coming on you, and you become a ghost. You don't
sorry,
confront.
Hey, yo.
That's crazy.
Wow. He said everybody be coming on you and you're just going crazy. All I had is this picture.
I said pause.
That's one way to
In
do
my head,
it.
you know that meme with the kid in the red?
But no.
I'm done, bro.
But you know what it is now, because you know what it is, I want to be able to tackle this and to kind of go back to a serious note.
My bad.
I think it's important. I think it's actually important to know what our friends, the people that we value, actually think about us. You know what I'm saying, or one another. So I think what Dwayne is saying is actually quite prevalent, and it may be something that you can take on board, so that when banter does come again and you go full circle, you're able to
What did you
take
say?
it and
'Cause I
digest
feel
it
like
as
what you
banter.
do now is that when you feel like it's too on top, you simply withdraw from it, so you're not having to face it anymore. So it could be going on, but you are just not dealing with it because it's not there.
In a group,
Take
but yeah,
yourself
but
out
that's
of
what I'm
the
saying.
situation.
Because
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
would, but I have to.
Is that a coping mechanism?
But you have
Yeah,
to.
that's what I get.
You have
Yeah,
to.
it's a
You have
coping
to because you have to take yourself out and you have to have that conversation with yourself. It's not personal. It's banter. They're your friends. You've known them for 20+ years.
Yeah.
There's no intent behind it. You have to have that conversation with yourself. Then you reset and you go back.
But having those conversations with yourself, do they get easier and quicker to
Yeah.
almost have that conversation? Say, all right, let me continue. or
Yeah,
let me
because
carry
you
on."
feel the fire starting, like the anxiety starts to build up. And you start, okay, I'm going through a moment.
You ain't
Yeah.
here for none of it, bro. It's because you ain't here for none of it.
No.
Soon as it starts, and it's Casper, bro.
No, because then you start, okay, I'm going through a moment. I'm either gonna say something that's damaging.
You are the type of person that
Yeah.
that reacts to something and kind of like what Craig was saying before about getting to a point where we can't recover from it.
Yeah.
That is, you do have that ammunition.
I think when I was younger, I was like that. I think as I got older, I'm talking about way young.
Yeah.
Like that, I would just lash out and say something mad. But I think like I dealt with that very early in my life without knowing that I was dealing with it.
I tell you what, yeah,
I think people talking to you about the way that you was probably had some kind
Okay, I'm not gonna. I'll hug you.
of some kind of
what's kind of I don't know. It's maybe something that's kind of come full circle. I think it was a year or two ago, almost to the day, because it was Selena's birthday, and I was dealing with bad anxiety, and we went to that restaurant which is in Kingsbury, and bro, it was like the worst experience, one of the worst experiences of my life. And you know what? You said that anxiety and stuff is invisible, yeah, and stress and all of that. Bro, I was on that day, I was going through it, and I remember just thinking to myself, right, everyone's looking at me. I'm sweating, I'm hot. I was literally having to get up from the table and go and walk outside. And like, obviously my wife was privy to what I was kind of going through. So she was kind of checking on me. But I was like, babe, I can't breathe. Like, I'm sitting at the table and I can't breathe. I'm having to go out to the back, and your sister came out to talk to me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, my chest was beating so hard. I'm thinking, she must be able to see my heart thumping through my chest right now. And it's cold and I'm sweating and I'm hot and I just can't get rid of this feeling. And I feel like I'm boiling up. And I was like, babe, please, like, at the earliest opportunity, please, let's just go, innit? Like, because I said, I just need to get out of here, because I was there amongst all of my friends and family, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you, man, I consider like my family. So I'm in a comfortable situation, but I feel so uncomfortable. I couldn't even eat. I spent so much money in that damn restaurant, I didn't eat nothing. You know what I'm saying?
And the point is, you said before you came that you wasn't in. We already knew that you wasn't in a good space, and we were trying to get you out for time before that, and you just wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think only because it was a 40th, you decided.
I said, you know what? Like, this is it. And the reason being is because me and Selena have had certain conversations. I said, you know what? I'm gonna try and do this for you. You know what I'm saying? To show you that. And I was like, Jesus Christ! I've never been so uncomfortable in my life. Like, and that's the reason why. It's almost like to the day, it's her birthday today. I can literally remember, and all of those feelings, I can feel them kind of manifesting themselves. But it's crazy. But to a lot of people around, while I'm feeling all of these mad, crazy emotions, to you, it might have just been just a normal day.
That's why I say it's invisible.
You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't stand out in your mind like, oh, Craig was acting weird or anything like that.
I'm going back to the dinner, and I'm like, man, you was cool. You was everything looked calm, everything. And like Dwayne said, I guess the difference was that we did know by that time. But even still, I'm picturing you on that. At that dinner, I'm like, well,
but you know what it is? But me and Dwayne had the conversation the other day, and he was telling me about a trait of my son. And I said to him straight away, I said, that's me. It's about overcompensating. So when I feel very uncomfortable, I will overcompensate by being more of what is me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very kind of outgoing person, vocal and all of that sort of stuff, humor, all of that. So it would turn up to 3,000 to make myself feel comfortable, but really deep inside, I'm like, I don't want to be here. I don't feel comfortable in this moment within myself and within my own skin, but this is my only, you said about coping mechanisms, this is the only way I know how to cope with it that's going to deflect from everyone else actually detecting that there is something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying?
How did you feel? Because I remember when I was going through it, I couldn't speak to anyone. So I couldn't speak to my parents because they would get too emotional about it. I couldn't speak to the boys because they would say, "Are you looking for attention?"
But you didn't trust to speak to your boys, correct?
I tried to speak to my boys.
Hold on,
and they told me I was looking for attention.
Interesting.
And then I don't think I've ever met a partner, a female, that you can have a conversation about.
You can download.
That you can offload and say, "Look, I'm feeling like crap here. I can't get. I can barely get through the day." Because what you tend to find is that somehow, I don't know how it was for you, but somehow
I know what you can say.
It turns back to them.
Right, yeah. I know I've been through the same thing. So
I said somehow like an everyday occurrence.
No, for example, my wife, for example, is one of the first people to kind of know that I just said, babe, whatever it is that's going on up here, it's not right. It's not normal. And her first response would be like, what can I do? What have I done?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you feeling like this? We're okay. We. And I know that we're a married couple, but I am a person. I'm an individual. And I struggled, because remember I was saying to you before about if I confront someone and actually tell them how I feel, I'm scared about what will come out of my mouth because it won't be recoverable. It was almost the same with my wife. I can know that she was coming from a loving place. I know that her concern was for me and for us, but she couldn't receive what I was saying without somehow linking it to a us problem. And I'm saying to her, babe, we are absolutely fine and perfect. I've got the problem.
And now you have to deal with your issues and
the concern and the worry about how she's feeling.
Exactly.
And it just heightens things.
Exactly.
So I then started to withdraw and not want to speak to her, which is no fault of hers. It's on me, because when you're dealing with anxiety and stuff like that, you worry so much about not just yourself, but about what other people think. And that is the main thing. Is like, when I was going through something where I had to start going to see a therapist and whatnot, I was so shook about, because I wouldn't come out the house, I wouldn't get out of bed and all of that sort of stuff. I was so shook about telling my boys, because like I said, you know, in the last show, oh, I'm an alpha and all of this. I thought that makes me not. It makes me weak. It makes me this. So, or you would now look at me as this, or you won't say the same joke to me because you think, oh, Craig's going to be a little bitch and he can't take it. You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm being real. All of these sort of things.
You're overthinking everything.
100%.
So when you're in a normal, I don't want to say normal, but you know what I mean, like in a regular state of mind.
Yeah.
Does it not play on your mind then? Like you think to yourself like, can something just trigger me off and send me back? Don't that, like it just play on your mind?
I guess for me personally, kind of recovering from a state, and sometimes I don't even know what to kind of put it as. I think to myself sometimes, did I have some sort of mental breakdown? Did I have just anxiety, stress? Was I just depressed? I know now that I'm better than I was then. However, I know, and I've seen stuff that tells me, yeah, you know what? It's almost like a fat person, no disrespect. You know, cool, you can lose weight, but you know that you're going to struggle with weight for the rest of your life. That's going to be something that you have an issue with. You know what I'm saying? And I know now that really and truly, unless I look after myself properly, and when I say look after, I'm not just talking about the physical, because I go to the gym sometimes. I'm talking about mentally. If I don't look after myself, I know that there are triggers that can send me down that path. And what I think is great about where I am at the moment, I know what a lot of those triggers are. And when I see them, I distance myself from that.
I don't know if I can manage. I think that would just make me
No,
crumble,
but
bro.
you say that you make you crumble, but you're doing it now without even thinking. You don't have to do that. So let's just say, for example, you feel some sort of pain or there's some sort of negativity coming your way, without you even processing and thinking of it as a thought. You do whatever it is that you need to do for it not to affect you. And all it is that I'm conscious of the fact that I have to do that. You just do that subconsciously, which is why you've never had any sort of mental health issues, if that makes sense. A lot of people are doing what I have to think about and be very meticulous about. A lot of people just do that anyway, and it's a natural thing, and they don't even take it as nothing.
That stuff I go through, I just don't feel like...
You don't feel like it's weighing you down.
Yeah, I feel like give me an hour or two, and I can process and deal with it.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably gonna sound silly, but I feel like anything you give me, I can deal with.
Bro, that's great mental strength. That is.
Hold on.
But you think that there's stuff that he's not tackling.
Right. And it's so easy to say that because you normalize behavior. You know, it's like if you're putting on weight slowly, you don't see it. And then someone says, oh, hey, you've put on some weight, boy. Like, some people say, like, oh, your arms look bigger, Leon. But in any case, it's a very gradual process. And me, for example, I normalized what you just said. So if I got into an argument and it's getting too much for me, I shut down. I go cold. And many of my partners were saying, or people I've seen, were saying that, Leon, you're so cold. And for me, I was like, no, I'm just dealing with this issue.
I'm so cold.
Wow. But that's great what you just did. What? That's great what you just did because
Do you look at that? Sorry. Do you look at that as dismissive to what you're
That's
saying?
what I was going to say. That's what
Yeah,
I was going to say.
because I was thinking about I think he's done something which is quite innocent and just within his character,
Right.
but it's all about what you do.
How it's
It's not
perceived-
about
how it's
it's not about
perceived.
what you do. It's about how you receive it.
But this is my point earlier about him. I can't say, okay, with that comment, you made me feel like you're dismissing my feelings. What I would say is that, okay, what was his intent? Okay, he's trying to make some light banter. Cool.